Good evening, ladies and gents, and welcome to another Q8 pilot stream to 1700 Zulu, 2000 hours local time here in Kuwait City. Welcome, Rand Cooley. Glad to have you here. Mr. Valero, Dougal McTavish, Flyby, and Stefanos. Thank you very much, guys, for being here this evening. And today we are going to be taking a look at X-Plane 12.2.0 Beta 3. This is so far the best beta in this release in terms of performance, in terms of the visuals, in terms of everything. X-Plane is looking great, and I can't really wait for further improvements in the clouds and the sky colors. Hopefully those are coming in the days to come. We are today going to be flying a Ryanair flight in Italy. And for this, I have chosen a couple of airports that are both our default airports, but both are very nice airports to fly to and from. So very quickly, let's take a quick look at our briefing for the flight today. We are currently at Elmas Airport in Italy, Lima, India, Echo, Echo, in Cagliari, Italy. We are departing today runway 32 through the car 5 Mike departure. We are going to be cruising at 19,000 feet across the sea to Pontaresi in Palermo, Italy, arriving at runway 25, performing an ILS approach through the Jan 5 Lima arrival at our destination. Our alternate destination today is Rome, Italy, Lima, India, Romeo, Foxtrot. Hopefully we don't need to do an alternate. Hopefully we'll arrive at our destination. The weather conditions are quite nice. VFR conditions in both the departure and arrival with few scattered clouds. We'll take a look at the weather briefing a little later. For the flight today, I have chosen what I regard as the very best freeware add-on ever created for flight simulation, no other than the Zibo Mod Boeing 737. This mod has been updated. It was based on Laminar's default Boeing 737 and has received, I must say, maybe thousands of updates throughout the course of the development of X-Plane, and this add-on has made it to every version of X-Plane, including beta. I've noticed that there's been a month of no updates, but the aircraft still flies pretty well, and it is still, in my view, the very best freeware add-on created for flight sim alongside the fly-by-wire A320 and A380. In fact, the Zebo 737 in many aspects supersedes the fidelity of PMDG 737 for Microsoft Flight Sim 2020. It is by far the most accurate representation of the 737 that we have today. And for those of you who prefer the level up 737NG, it is based on this aircraft, the Zebo, and Zebo himself has actually worked and helped with the development of the level up series of aircraft. So without further ado, let's get started. First, I want to bring you notice to this airport. While this is a completely default airport, I am using the Airport Enhancement Pack. And I believe that the Airport Enhancement Pack is a great addition to X-Plane. It really enhances the default airports in terms of the markings. As you can see here, the ground marking, the taxi lines there, and the buildings as well. It does not really change anything, but it enhances what's already there. So it will not add new buildings. It will only change the textures of the existing buildings into high-resolution textures. As you can see here, the rooftop, for example, clearly shows how high-res the textures are. You can see the same thing over here. So if you are looking to enhance the default scenery in X-Plane, I highly recommend the Airport Enhancement Pack. Our airline today, this is a real-world route for this flight via aboard Ryanair, and again, I can only admire how beautiful the Zibo mod is for X-Plane 12. Again, one of the most advanced simulations of a 737 tested and attested by real-world pilots, including our dear friend Flight Deck to Sim. Right. With that, we are going to get things started. And for this flight today, we are going to be using the airside services, which is a feature that allows the Zibo mod to read the information from your SimBrief flight plan. I have done a previous flight to show you how to do this, but today we're just going to be using it rather than, making a tutorial on that. All right, chat, let's get started. Hello, Drashal. Welcome. Hello, Jesse. Welcome aboard. MN Sports Fan 88. Welcome aboard. Perfect combination. Fly, Bry. Welcome, guys. Glad to have you here with us. And we have also Moss756. Welcome aboard. I just want to let you know that I was at this airport, and if you were on a private... Oh, we're on a private parking lot. Well... that's my bad, but that's all right because I do see another Ryanair there, so we're kind of, maybe we are, but it's all right. We're in a sim, so that's okay. Forgive me for, for my lack of understanding of this airport. So let's get things started. The first thing is we're going to do the flight inspection test. So we're going to come here to the fly with Lua. And we're going to start the show window, and we'll do this safety inspection
checklist. Surfaces and chocks.
Checked.
Maintenance status.
Checked.
Battery.
On.
Electric hydraulic pumps.
On.
Landing gear lever.
Down.
Ship's library.
Checked.
Safety inspection checklist complete.
All right, so the safety checklist is complete. And with that, we're going to come here and we're going to go to ground services and connect the GPU. And we're going to come over to the overhead panel. And let's take a look here. First thing first, we are going to connect the ground power. Lovely sounds on the Zebo. Left app fuel pump is on. And let's do our flows. We're going to come down here. Everything here is good. Emergency lights are on. We're going to put the non-smoking and fasten seatbelt signs on auto. Window heat can go on. And we can test the data cockpit voice recorder. It's not model, but that's all right. And the voice recorder is on auto. Trim air is on. Recirc fans on auto. We're going to put the packs here on auto, and we're going to turn on the APU bleed switch. The flight altitude today is 19,000 feet, and everything here is... We're going to put the position light on steady, and the next thing we're going to do is we're going to come here and test the lights. So the lights test okay. Excellent. And we'll just check the oxygen here, and we'll check the oxygen on this side as well. Perfect. And next we're going to come down here and test the APU. All right, perfect. And cargo fire test as well. And we'll check those two. All right, perfect. Everything checks okay. We're going to move over to the overhead panel here and test the data flight recorder. Checks okay. Mach speed warning test 1 and 2. Stall warning. It takes a little bit of time. So we're just going to test those now. We're going to move here and set the ADDONS to nav mode. All right, that is set. IRSs are set to nav, and we can now turn on the yaw damper, and we are good here. Excellent. Next, we are going to go to the FMC, and actually, before we do that, let's come to the, let's go home, fuel, weight and balance, airside services. We're going to go to the next page, and we're going to load the operational flight plan. As you can see, everything's already loaded here, and we're going to say activate. Now, once you say activate, provided that you have downloaded the proper 738 XML file from SimBrief, and move to the outside view, you'll see everything start, all the ground services will start deploying to the aircraft. So we'll just give it a little bit of time here, and you'll start seeing things coming to the aircraft. All right, let me go to... We're going to go to the cockpit here real quick. And let's start with... let's start the APU. All right, so APU is now starting. And let's take a look here. I think we have now... Yeah, there you go. So now you can see that the fuel truck is coming into position here to refuel the aircraft with very juicy Jet A fuel. Yeah. All right. I love the animations, and Austin food truck is also pulling up to the aircraft to supply the aircraft with the meals for this flight. You can see also here the hose connected to the aircraft. Very, very nice animations there. Again, this is all free stuff. You can see the main door is now open as well. So very nicely done there by Zebo. Right, and you can also see that the doors will automatically open, and we can now you can see that the if you go to the home page, you'll see that the crew service the ground crew are servicing the aircraft, getting the aircraft cleaned for the flight. So the passengers aren't yet boarding at this point. All right, so we're getting the aircraft fueled, and we're going to come here to the FMC, and we're going to go to position in it, and we're going to select our departure airport, Lima, India, Echo, Echo, and we're going to go to the next page, select the GPS position, insert it here, go to the route, put in the origin airport, and LIECJ is our destination. I think I got that wrong.
Ground flight deck fuel is all loaded up and you are good to go.
J. All right, thank you very much. All right, and we can now start, put this on and put this on. The APU is on, so let's put the APU, and everything here is good, so we'll leave that. All right, perfect. And, oh,
Love the Zebo. One of the absolute best.
well, thank you very much, Rishal, for 2 years of support here at the Q8 Pilot channel. Really appreciate this. Appreciate your friendship, your support being a moderator, and your support being a captain here on the channel. Really appreciate it. Thank you very much, Rishal. All right, we are Ryanair 1009. Again, this is a real world route for Ryanair. So we are Ryanair 10009. You can check this flight on Flight Radar if you like. And we're going to go to the departure, and we are departing runway 32 through the CORM 5, and then route, next page, and now we can select sim brief plan, and we're going to select the all right, so our route here is pretty simple. From car, we're going to go to Quebec 152, and exit at Giano. Very Italian. It sounds pretty Italian, Giano. And from Giano, it's going to be the arrival into our destination. So the Giano 5 Lima arrival. So we're going to go and select that, the Giano 5 Lima. Okay. Giano 5 Lima, that's the one here. And how about we do, so it says localizer. It's actually an ILS runway 25, so that's fine. It says, I'm sure pretty much it says ILS. I'm not sure why it says only localizer. But that's okay. We'll choose the localizer Yankee 25. And then if you go to the arrivals here and runway 25, you can see ILS Yankee. So we'll go at the ILS Yankee. And let's take a look here. All right, so that's the ILS Yankee. And do we need to select, let's see, PRS 1 and 2. So these are the two. This is a DME 11. I think we'll just leave it. It will more than likely. I don't think we need any of these. I don't think we need any of these transitions. So we'll just go to route, activate and execute. Perfect. And I suppose now that the passengers will be loaded momentarily, we'll start boarding, and everything here looks good. Okay, let's go to perf int, and now we can go to the fuel and balance, and if we go to payload, let's check here. All right, so the passengers aren't loaded yet, and we'll see in a minute or so it'll start loading. So fuel is taken care of. Let's take a quick look here at the outside. Yeah, so these doors are closed and we are now boarding passengers. So let me remove the, all right, we have full alignment now, perfect. And what we can do is remove the ground power unit now that we have the APU running. Okay, so let's take a quick look here at the fuel and balance payload. Let's see here. Still, passengers are still not loaded, so it should automatically start everything. So let me do the few checks here. So we'll do the fly slope check, and we'll also do the
terrain, pull up, obstacle, pull up,
adjust vertical speed.
right.
Adjust.
So TCAS
Climb,
test.
Climb now. Climb now. Climb, crossing, climb. Climb, crossing, climb. Climb. Clear of conflict. Descend, crossing.
All right. I'm just going to say
Descend,
start flight
crossing,
light.
descend now. Descend now. Increase climb. Increase descent. Increase descent. Maintain vertical speed. Maintain vertical speed. Crossing. Maintain. Monitor vertical speed. TCAS test. Pass.
All right. So TCAS test pass, and we'll set this to. All right. I think we can go ahead and put in the. I'm not sure why we don't see the passengers being loaded. All right, let's go ahead and just put the information here. We're going to go to fuel and balance payload. Zero fuel is 48078, so 48.1. All right, 48.1. And we'll put that there. Reserve is 2,000 kilos of fuel. And the cost index, I believe, is, let's take a look. Hello, Bruce. Welcome aboard. Hello, Patrick. Hello, Nito. Welcome aboard. Glad to have you guys here. Use airside. I already used the airside on the EFB, but for some reason, it did not load it. So we went to fuel and balance, airside services, and here, it's already active. It's got the passengers here, but for some reason, it did not load the passengers. I really am not sure why. Yeah. It just didn't. Yeah, well, that's all right. We'll just put whatever data we have and we'll get going. All right, so we're going to go back to the flight plan, view SimBrief plan. 47 is our cost index today, 47. And the cruise altitude is 19,000 feet. I've never really had the guts to go for Zebo and always gone for MSMSP MDG when flying 737. What's the difference between Zebo and Level Up? Well, essentially, they're pretty much the same. Yes, I downloaded this SimBrief flight plan. All right, so 19 is done. Cruise winds 338.17, 338 at 17. And the current outside temperature is, let's see, weather. The outside temperature is currently 19 Celsius. Quite pleasant. Transition altitude 6,000. And let's go to the N1 limit. We're going to derate our takeoff. And we're going to set flaps 5. And that gives us 123, 124, and 135. CG trim is 5 exactly. So let's set that. All right, that's 5 on the trim and 135 for V2. Right, 135. Right, 135 is set. and everything is good. We're going to set the 320, that's the runway heading, so we're good here, and anti-skid to rejected takeoff, and we are pretty much ready to, we need to set the, let me set this to hectopascal and get our altimeter real quick. So the altimeter is 1017, and the same thing on the first officer's side, 1017. Brilliant. And next we're going to go to fly with Lua, and we're going to go to the show the window.
Before start checklist to the line. IRS mode selectors.
Nav.
Gear pins.
Removed.
Light test.
Checked.
Oxygen.
Tested 100%.
Yaw damper.
On.
Nav transfer and display switches.
Normal and auto.
Fuel.
Checked.
Fuel pumps.
4 pumps on.
Cabin util IFE galley power.
On.
Emergency exit lights.
Armed.
Fasten belts.
On.
Window heat.
On.
Air conditioning.
PEX auto. Bleeds on.
Pressurization.
Set.
Pressurization mode selector.
Auto.
Instruments.
Cross-checked.
Auto brake.
RTO.
Hydraulics.
Normal.
Speed brake.
Down D10.
Parking brake.
Set.
Stab trim cutout switches.
Normal.
Wheel well fire warning.
Checked.
Radios, radar and transponder.
Set and standby.
Rudder and aileron trim.
3 and 0.
Takeoff briefing.
Discussed.
PA.
Complete.
FMC CDU.
Set.
N1 and IAS bugs.
N1 and IIS auto. V-speed set.
Stab trim.
Set.
Performance, weight and balance.
Checked.
EFB.
Airplane mode and stowed.
Phones.
Off.
Flight deck windows and cockpit door.
Not again.
All right, so one thing we haven't done yet, and we can see that the doors are still there. So what we're going to do is we're going to come here. We're going to go to the ground services. We're going to go to the doors. Now you can see that this is the forward entry. It shows that it's locked, but it actually is not. So let me see if we can get this fixed. Let me take a look here at the outside. First, we need to retract the stairs. So, alright, if I turn on the beacon lights, I'm pretty sure that it will close them. But, alright, let me close first this door.
Closed.
Doors.
Ah, this.
Yeah, the doors aren't closed, so I'm not really sure why it's doing this. First leg, yeah, it doesn't. Well, we can, I think, close the doors manually. So let's try this. Let me go here, and let's see. Can we retract the stairs? It's not doing it. Off and on smoking sign to start boarding. Is it? You might be right. You know what? Because the aircraft was fueling. So let's see. Well. Nope, nothing is happening here, that's for sure. Well, how do we close the doors then? All right, let's go back here, and let's go to ground services. Let's retract the air stairs first, and then maybe we can close the door. There we go. All right, perfect.
Closed.
All right.
Passengers.
Seated.
Before start checklist completed to the line.
Okay, so that is done out of the way. And the one thing I wanted to check is, why is the GPU still connected? I mean, the GPU is obviously disconnected, so I'm not sure why this is still there. Is it? Let's see here. Why is the GPU still connected? I think it's that's what I figured. It's probably SAM services is why you have the other one. Keep no smoking sign on. All right, no smoking sign on. And well, we closed the door now, so I don't think that's going to work. So that's all right, guys. We'll just fly the plane. All right, let's see. I think, yeah, it's opening the door now. I think I figured you guys are absolutely right. So now it's bringing the passengers to the aircraft. All right, well, we'll wait for the passengers to load then in this case. We can already hear the passengers, I think, in the background. All right, we'll just wait for that to happen then. Okay, so I'm going to come here and we're going to go home, PA system. Captain, welcome.
Good afternoon, folks. From the cockpit, I'd like to welcome you on board. We're ready up front. Everybody's closed up outside. We're just waiting to get some of our performance numbers and the clearance from air traffic control, and we should be underway. It's our pleasure having you on board with us today. Sit back, relax, enjoy the flight. Should be underway here shortly. Thanks for flying with Delta there.
Well, we're definitely in Delta. We are Ryanair, so let's go back here. And PA system settings, we are...
Ryanair 2.
That's better. All right, now we can hear the music in the background as well while passengers are boarding the aircraft. Let's close the cockpit door and let's see. All right, so we're just going to wait for the passengers to load now. It's going to take a little bit of time. So if we go now to payload, and things have changed, so we're probably going to have to change things a little bit. Yeah, we can definitely see the passengers loading now. That's cool. Thanks, guys, for this. Appreciate it. Yeah, the checklist is the audio checklist, and it's pretty cool. I do like it a lot. Developed by one of FD2 community, I believe. I don't know, but I know that he's helped them with one of the voice packs. Okay, well, we're just waiting for the passengers now to load, and we'll be on our way. But our performance numbers will have probably changed now. So I'm going to go to index, and I'm going to go to perf, and these numbers will have changed now. So we're just going to wait. If you go back here, you'll see that the zero fuel weight has now changed because of the passengers. So yeah, very, very nice scenery with the airport enhancement pack. And this version of X-Plane is definitely looking very nice. Look at those clouds, guys. And then the water in X-Plane is really, really outstanding. Very, very nice. The haze also in this version is looking very good. You've got those speedboats, you know, the yachts, and little boats as well. So we have those little... What is this guy doing? Looks like he's having a ball there. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Very, very cool indeed. Sailboats, all kinds of boats. So it's nice to have this in X-Plane. It makes things a little bit more, you know, immersive. All right, back in the cockpits. Let's take a look here. We're still loading the passengers. It will take a little bit of time, but that's all right. Let's set up the second FMC unit here. We're going to go FMC, and we're going to set this on climb, and everything else is set. Okay, perfect. We'll put this on alt off, and everything else here looks good. Everything here looks good, and we're good. I really like the fact that now you can fly the Zebo and it doesn't look so dark. I mean, the cockpit looks really, really good with this version of X-Plane. Okay, so what do we have? Anti-collision, not yet. We'll just wait for the passengers. Are we there? We're about 160 of them. So that's 40, 40, 50. Yeah, it's going to take a little bit of time to get all the passengers on board. Okay. Let's see. Hello, Alex. Welcome, my friend. Hello, Colin. I recently modified my local Zibo 737 to add the level up cockpit textures, the best of both worlds. Yeah, great flight model and some enhanced textures. Very nice. Good going there, Colin. Yeah. Avinator. I downloaded X-Plane 12 yesterday and I get Vulkan error. Even I switched to beta version of X-Plane 12 and updated my graphics driver. It's because of my GTX 750M graphic card. That might be it, yeah. Hey, Sim Crash Flyer, welcome aboard. Benny, how are you doing, my friend? Are you running any other mod in X-Plane? I'm not running any mods, but I'm using the airport enhancement pack, but no other mods, no. Giving FS 2024 another go. The new beta performance is significantly better for me. Yes, I've heard that. Q8, what are the differences between the PMDG and Zebo? Wow. I think you've retracted the message. There are a lot of differences between the two. All right, let's take a look here. So we have here 31. 73. Yeah, we're almost there. Not quite there yet, but all our performance data is going to change now that we have the passengers on board the aircraft. So yeah, it will take a little bit of time. Those textures are really nice on those buses. Yeah, they've done a really good job with this Zibo mod. It's really got everything now, except maybe the circuit breakers aren't modeled. Well, they're visually modeled, but they are not functional. We do have a discontinuous from Lavru. We're going to take this center fix for the runway, for runway 25. So there we go. And now this is done. And all we need to do is update our zero fuel and we'll be good to go. Hi Q8, does shade for X-Plane 11 work in X-Plane? Oh, if you are referring to the mod, the enhancement, the tutorial I showed how to enhance the quality of the shadows, the answer is yes, it works perfectly. I have done an updated tutorial specifically for X-Plane 12. It says how to improve shadows in X-Plane 12. So if you follow that tutorial, it is exactly what we've done in X-Plane 11, and it works perfectly in X-Plane 12 as well. So you are good if that's something that you want to take advantage of. I've noticed yesterday that Drishal, who is a moderator here on the channel as well, has moved his shadow slider all the way to aircraft only, so to the far left, and he's used the tweak that I showed on how to improve the quality of the shadows, and that has worked very well for him. So if you are suffering, some performance issues, that's maybe something that you might want to try. Shade X. I haven't tried Shade X, quite frankly. I don't see why it doesn't work. It should work just fine. Just be careful with things that work, things that change the data refs in X-Plane with this version. A few more FPS, yeah, perfect. All right, that's 66. We're almost there now. With the passengers, we have about 160 of them. So yeah, we're almost there. And we can also come here. PA system. And that's it. Nothing else there. All right, let's take a quick look again at the outside one more time. And we can want to show you here is the soundscape in X-Plane. You can hear different things at different times of the day. You can see the beautiful movement of the 3D trees. So if you go here, I think, let me see. There, you can hear the streets, and when there are cars, you can actually hear the cars, and you can hear them honking their horns and things like that. So, yeah, pretty cool. It's got the VOR station there. All right. Let's see where we are in terms of the passengers now. Let's go to fuel, weight and balance, payload, and let's click here. All right, we're almost there now. A few more passengers here, and then we're good. 4 more passengers, as a matter of fact, and then we're good to go. All right, boarding is complete, and now we can take the new numbers, and we're going to go to the perfect, and we're going to change the zero fuel weight to 61. Right, so that's 61. Execute that. All right, everything else here remains the same. N1 limit. We're going to derate the takeoff. All right, everyone's strapped in, and we're going to put in our new speeds, 149. Wow, look at how the numbers have changed now. All right, gents, ladies and gents, we're ready to go. Doors are closed, and let's go ahead and turn on the anti-collision light. And now we can turn on the fasten seatbelt sign to on, and we're now good to go. Perfect, finally. All right. That was, of course, my bad. So let's go to fly with Lua, and we're going to show the window before start to the line.
Before start checklist to the line. Gear pins.
Removed.
Oxygen.
Tested 100%.
Yaw damper.
On.
Fuel.
Checked.
Fuel pumps.
4 pumps on.
Fasten belts.
On.
Window heat.
On.
Air conditioning.
PEX auto, bleeds on.
Pressurization.
Set.
Pressurization mode selector.
Auto.
Instruments.
Cross-checked.
Auto brake.
RTO.
Parking brake.
Set.
Stab trim cutout switches.
Normal.
Radios.
That's pretty much the same one, isn't it? The transit one. All right, let's go to before start below the line.
Before start checklist below the line. Air conditioning packs.
Not again. Off.
Anti-collision light.
On.
Parking brake.
Set.
Transponder.
Alt off.
Before start checklist complete.
All right, so the next one is the before taxi. So we are ready for engine start. Let's go ahead and push out of our position. Better pushback. Start
Ground
push.
to cockpit. Please show me where you want to go. Ground to cockpit. Tow is driving up.
All right, the tow is driving up, and here's a look at the beautiful wing view here with the Zebo. Looks really, really good. Nice weather conditions. I've done a test flight on the same route a few days ago, and the weather was just dreadful. But hopefully we have a nice weather today, and we get to enjoy the beautiful sky colors as we arrive into our destination this evening. Perfect. Anyone use Volante and X-Plane 12 with a lower landing rate add-on? Does the FPM match the Volante? There will always be, Scotty,
all doors
a difference.
and hatches are closed. Ready to connect.
In the landing rate, because they use different ways to calculate it, but the difference shouldn't be that much. It shouldn't be significant. So it should be just a few, FPM different, plus minus 5, I think. Should be the one. Should be the difference. Is great. After version 2.4, it became a great add-on. Alex, I'm going to hold you up to that, my friend, and we are going to take a look at it here on stream, maybe this coming Saturday. Yeah.
So connected and bypass pin inserted. Release parking brake.
Over your nose and mouth and breathe.
All right, parking brake released.
Starting pushback, and you may start engines.
And we have clearance to start the engines. We are going to go and start engine number 2. Ground. And now we can watch the engine spooling here. Excellent. We can hear the beautiful engines being started. We'll start the fuel at about 20% N2. All right, 20% N2, and engine number 2 is coming up. Hello, HD Sim, welcome aboard. Check your D-rated. 525, by the way, is now the trim. All right, let's see. Perf and 1 limit. I think we're good here. Check off everything here is set. Okay, perfect. All right, we have a good start. Engine number 2. Let's start engine number 1. Ground. Look at those. Look at the shadows there. They look fantastic. Look at that. Wow, looks really, really good. All right, let's wait for 20% N2. And 20% N2. Fuel lever. You need to keep up with the updates. Yep.
Operation complete. Set parking brake.
Zebo pushes out updates like a madman. Yeah, it is. All right, parking brake set.
Disconnecting tow. Stand by.
All right, we have a good start on both engines. So we're going to put on the generators. Generators are on. Engine start switches to continuous. And probe heat is on.
Secured. Have a good flight.
All right, thank you very much. Cabin is secured. Packs to auto. Isolations valve to auto. APU bleed off. APU is off. And let's disconnect. Okay, perfect. And let's do the flight control check real quick. So full up, full down, full left, full right. Kind of pushed my mic away. Pedal, full left.
Tow is disconnected and
right.
bypass pin has been removed.
And center.
Hand signal will be on the right. We'll see you next time and have a great flight.
All right, thank you very much for your service. And we can go now to the checklist. So we're going to turn on the, let's see, taxi lights on. And what else do we need here? All right, everything is set here. Perfect. And recall checked, and now we can go to the we'll go to the checklist. All right, before taxi
checklist. Generators
On.
APU
Off.
start switches,
Continuous.
probe heat,
On.
anti-ice,
Off.
air conditioning,
PEX auto. Bleeds on.
isolation valve,
Auto.
flaps.
Damn.
well, it's going to just wait now for the flaps to be in position.
Flaps 5 required and selected. Green light.
Stab trim,
Set.
start levers,
Idle detent.
flight controls,
Checked.
recall.
Checked.
Before taxi checklist complete.
All right, and the before taxi checklist is complete. Next is the before takeoff to the line. So let's go ahead and taxi to the runway, ladies and gents. Parking brake is released, and off we go. The Zebo has really got to be one of the best aircraft available for X-Plane 12, and it is totally free of charge. All right, here we go. Look at the shadows again, guys. Look at how beautiful they are in this version of X-Plane. The performance as well is something that has improved significantly in this version. All right, let's do the before takeoff. I'm not sure really what's required for this particular one, but let's go ahead and bring it up anyway. Show the window.
Before takeoff checklist to the line. Config.
Not again.
Not
Check.
sure what he wants
Flaps.
here.
Flaps 5 set. Green light.
Stab trim.
Set.
Takeoff briefing.
Takeoff briefing is complete.
Reviewed.
Cabin.
Secured.
Before takeoff checklist completed to the line.
All right, so the one that next is before takeoff below the line, which basically requires the lights, strobes, and things like that. The sounds aren't great for the Zebo. Yes, they are. They're very, very good. Right. Again, you can see how beautiful the panel work is now because the dark cockpit problem has now been resolved. You can really see the beautiful texturing of the Zebo. I think it's done just really, really very, very well. All right. We are getting ready here. This is the hold short for runway 32. And let's just slow down the aircraft a little bit. And we're going to go landing lights on, runway turn off lights, taxi lights off. The strobes can go on. Logo lights off. We don't need them. And TARA for our transponder. Auto throttle is armed. And now we can do the
Before takeoff checklist below the line. MCP.
It is set.
Transponder.
TARA.
Strobe lights.
On.
Landing lights.
On.
Before takeoff checklist complete.
All right, before takeoff checklist is complete, and we are cleared for takeoff runway 32. Let's go. Took us a while to get things started here. Of course, it was my bad. I've been a bit rusty flying the Zebo. Q8 config means that you push the throttles forward and instantly back again to see if the takeoff config otherwise... Oh, gotcha. Thank you very much for that. I appreciate it. I really appreciate that. Thank you. One of the things I love about this community is how helpful you guys are and how much I learned from you guys as well. That's pretty cool. I love that. Thank you. All right. Let's get lined up here, and we're going to go to 40% N1. 40% set and toga. Takeoff config. What is the problem now with the aircraft? Speed brakes do not arm. Is it armed? Oh, holy crap!
Nuts. D1, rotate. Positive rate.
And gears going up.
$400.
That was definitely my bad. Right, 1000. LNAV. And VNAV. And Command A. Let's start retracting the flaps. Flaps 1. And speed check flaps up. Anti-skid off. Engine switches off. And let's do the after takeoff checklist. I need to map a button for this so that we don't have to keep going back and forth.
After takeoff checklist. Air conditioning and pressurization.
Set.
Engine start switches.
Off.
Landing gear.
Up and off.
Auto brake.
Off.
Flaps.
Up, no lights.
Altimeters.
Set.
After takeoff checklist complete.
All right, and the after takeoff checklist is complete, folks. Hello, Goal. Hello, Roland. Thank you very much for that. Appreciate it, guys. The flight model for the Zebo is made by Twixter, and due to the new nature of X-Plane 12, the whole flight model has been redone. Yes, and it is just awesome, really. One of the most wonderful aircraft to hand fly is the Zebo 737. All right, transition altitude. Let's set the altimeter to standard 6,000 feet. And we're going to continue now to 19,000. And here is a beautiful wing view here of this Ryanair 737. And by the way, it's got a really nice passenger cabin too. Look at that. Look at this beautiful passenger cabin here. Very nicely done for a, you know, freeware. I mean, can you believe this is all for free? As you start an engine with the packs on. Yep, I think there's not much that comes close to the FM of the Zebo. Yeah, I know I am a tad biased, but it is a remarkable plane. Yes, it is. You can dim the lights in the packs cabin with the iPad. Yes, sir. We can do that at cruise. We are now passing 10,000 feet, so landing lights off, runway turn-off lights are off, and everything else is set. So you can come here. So what our friend is referring to is if you go to the ground services, you can go to the cabin lights, and you can change the white to medium. This is for takeoff and landing, for example. So if I go back to the cabin now, you'll see that the lights have changed. They show a little better when it's darker, and then we can go for a cruise and night and sleep. So it's very nice that you can change the colors in the Zibo Mod. Again, it's got a lot of features. If you come here, just taking a look here at the electronic flight bag, so you've got your checklist and your procedures, and you've got all of them. You've got your PA system. We have the flight terminate flight leg, start flight leg, and the service crew. Fuel and balance, the AviTab integration, ground services, but also you have a host of features where you can simulate failures. I mean, this is what I really like about this. Is completely free, and it's got all of these options, and you can select, you know, what kind of failures do you want to simulate. You can enable random failures, you can disable them, you can fix failures, and also you have a number of things in terms of the variance in display, the hardware, realism, visual effects, calibration, audio features, general config, and there's a host of things again that you can configure this aircraft to match the real world configuration for different liveries and airlines, which I think is really commendable by Zebo and everyone who's worked on the project. The Zebo 737, just absolutely brilliant. Yeah, the Zebo is very advanced for a freeware aircraft. Definitely, very, very advanced. If you like to download the Zebo, just type !aircraft and you'll get the link to download Zebo. It's got both the X-Plane 11 and X-Plane 12 versions in a Google Drive. And also make sure that if you download the aircraft, if you don't have it installed, you need to download the full version and then the latest patch. You don't need to download all the patches, just the full version and the latest patch. Just merge the latest patch contents into the main full installation, and then move the entire folder to your X-Plane aircraft folder, and then you're good to go. All right, 15,000 for 19,000. And this is the top of climb. I'm not sure why the cruise altitude is 19,000. We can go up to 27,000 for an optimal you know, for an optimal cruise altitude, but that's what SimBrief has told us. And if we go to, yeah, that's in about 5.8 nautical miles. All right, so we'll check on that a little later. But yeah, it's pretty cool, and definitely an aircraft that does a lot more than what a lot of other payware aircraft cannot do and cannot deliver. And the amazing thing is that it has remained free, although there's massive work that has gone into the development of Zebo. It still is. Zebo for X-Plane 11 is getting updates every week, but the Zebo update for X-Plane 11 has been stopped. Well, I've noticed that it's been a month since the last update for the X-Plane 12 version as well. So so yeah, maybe Zebo is just taking a break now. X-Plane 11 version does not have the same features pack as the X-Plane 12. That is correct. Are you flying with Auto Ortho? No, I'm flying with default X-Plane scenery today. The only thing that we are using in terms of scenery enhancement is the Airport Enhancement Pack, which does not add any buildings but enhances the existing ones at default airports, and also enhances the ground markings, the taxiways, and the different clutter at airports, at the default airports, which I think is pretty much is really worth the price if you're looking for a scenery enhancement. By the way, without it, it's still, I mean, X-Plane default airports still look great in my view, but with it, I think it looks a whole lot better. So, you have weather, radar, terrain, and vertical situation display plugins separate for the Zebo. Yes, they are separate. And if we go here and we're going to put weather here, and let's come and put the terrain on this side. And yeah, you do have definitely the terrain. We can put this here on 20. We'll put it on 40. Why not? And you'll see that you have the terrain radar. Maybe we'll get it a little a better view. I can see it already here, but maybe you'll get a better view once we arrive into our destination. You'll be able to see the terrain radar. But we'll have the weather here. It's fully functional. It works exactly as it should. And look at those sky colors, guys. I mean, it looks really, really good in Beta 3. Here's a look at the outside. I mean, those sky colors are looking far more natural, and the sun is looking great. The light scattering in X-Plane is now looking very, very natural. Yeah, it looks really good, I have to say. Yeah. VFR conditions today, unfortunately. I know you guys like the clouds and the really nasty weather, or at least for our landings. So I don't think it's going to happen today. Thank you very much, Alex, for being active there and being very helpful. You're always very helpful. And that goes for all the moderators here on the Q8 Pilot channel. Thank you very much, guys, for the support always. Captain, where can I find airport enhancement in Steam? I don't think it's available on Steam. It is available on the X-Plane org store. So if you head over to the X-Plane org store, you'll find that it's called AEP, or Airport Enhancement Pack, and it's absolutely brilliant. Yeah, I definitely do recommend it. They do enhancements there, do they? I don't know. Press the control button to get VSD. It's very useful in VOR in non-precision approaches, as press the control button. Control button. I'm not sure which control button you're referring to. But I think the vertical speed is let me see here. The knob below the minimums. Okay. There is FPV. Is that the one you're referring to? This one is for meters. Ah, you mean this one here? Oh, yeah, yeah. I understand where you're. Yeah, I get you. Yeah, it's a good also for to also look at the profile. Yeah, I know what you're talking about now. Yeah, below that. Yeah. All right. So here we're looking good. Everything's looking good. TD in 115 nautical miles, so not much to go actually. But if we go to, I think we should find it here. Let's see. Let's go to index. Let's go to approach. And now we have the localizer 25 Yankee 109.5. So 109.50, and we're going to make that the active. It's definitely an ILS frequency. And the course is 244. So let's set that 244. And there we go, 244. We're going to set it here as well, 244. All right, perfect. And we're going to come here and set the frequency to 109.5. So 109.5. And we'll set that also as the active ILS frequency. And everything else here is looking good. Perfect. All right. We're all configured for our approach. I believe the platform altitude is 2,300 feet. We can verify that real quick. Here, let's come to 25. We've selected the ILS Yankee. So it is 3,800 feet is the platform altitude. All right, perfect. Auto brake to 2 or 3. It doesn't matter. 2 is fine. Hi, Captain. Would you review chase plane from Parallel 42 for MFS 2020? Amir, unfortunately, I do not have 2020 anymore. So yeah, I do not have 2020 installed anymore. I've uninstalled it to make space for 2024, and it is no longer installed. So I'll have to wait until chase plane is available for 2024 to review it. Check it out. I have the PC-12 from Thronda. It's not bad. Yeah, the PC-12 from Thronda is not bad for sure. Thank you again very much, Alex, for helping the folks here on the channel with all sorts of information related to the Zibo mod. And if you guys really require an installation guide or a tutorial, there is a ton of those on the internet, on YouTube, that you can basically follow. It's actually pretty simple, very straightforward, and as it is the case with just about everything to install for X-Plane. One of the things I really like about X-Plane and have liked over the over the different iterations of X-Plane is the fact that it's a very stable sim, and once you get your settings to where you like them, you pretty much can expect how the sim is going to perform at every airport. That's one thing I really miss when I fly in 2024. Highly unpredictable, especially 2024, by the way. 2020 was like that for a very long time, but then they got it to become very stable. But one of the things I really like also about X-Plane is how intuitive the user interface is. It's very simple. They don't have that many nested menus. Everything is done with the user in mind. Very friendly user interface, but very effective. The features that they have are truly done for for somebody who, by the way, for both an avid flight simmer as well as beginners. So just took off from Santos Dumont, and I was less than 5 meters from not making it. Oh, how cool is that? That's pretty cool. Right, let's take a quick look here at the wing views. Here again, very nice wing flex there on the Zebo. And we can come here. No, not that. We want this one.
Captain speaking. On behalf of all the crew, welcome on board this flight. We expect to be departing on schedule.
Yeah, that's not the one message we want. It's the level off. But I think this one here is not working for some reason. We can actually put this both on auto. All right. Let's see if we can press this one here. Yeah, this one doesn't seem to work for some reason. For all the sets. All right. So, if we look here, we are 80 nautical miles now from top of descent. So, one thing I'd like to always do is we are arriving runway 25. So, if we go to the next page, that's the final center fix, final fix, and then it's runway 25. Okay. So, we're going to go to the fix page, and we're going to enter RW25. We enter that here, and then we want the radial and the distance. We're going to put a radial of 244 and a distance of 10 nautical miles, and we enter that here. And then we're going to also say radial of 244, and we're going to put 20 nautical miles and add that here. What this does is, if we go to flight plan now and cycle through, so if I go to legs page and step through, you'll see now I have those two circles. Let me zoom out here a little bit. Actually zoom in. All right. So now you can see that we have the 20 nautical mile ring and the 10 nautical mile ring. And this is our path. It looks a little bit funny. By the way, maybe we don't need to do all of this. Maybe we can just fly direct from Idlet to Binpo right here. So we go into a straight line. I think that's something we can do. What do you guys think? I think, yeah, so this is Binpo, and this is right here. So we can fly direct just from there to here. But anyway, we'll just leave it for now, and we'll see how we do. We're not at a very high altitude, so I think we'll be able to do that should we decide to do it. Let's put this back on map, and let's make sure that our heading bug is synced. Right, 093 is set, and we're all good here. Right, 67 nautical miles, a few clouds. Let's check the weather at our destination, guys. And let's see, the weather is, as you can see, pretty normal. You know, nothing too exciting. 247 knot wind, cloud and visibility on okay. Temperature is 18 Celsius, 2.12 QNH 1016, and the visibility is more than 999 meters. So unlimited visibility, if you will. So weather is nice. Should be an uneventful approach into our destination. LU does have better graphics, but yeah, but then so does PMDG. Yeah. Let's program FMC now so we can calculate top of descent. Well, the top of descent is already calculated for you. So there you go. You have the top of descent is in 59 nautical miles. So you really don't need to do anything much other than resetting the MCP altitude to your platform altitude, which in our case is 3,800 feet. And at exactly the top of descent point, the aircraft will begin the automatic descent. Are you using LNAV and VNAV for descent? Yes. Final approach course fix CF is the final approach fix. Yes, that is correct. So for system depth perspective, Zebo is still better than UL. Yes, it is. And it is updated more frequently. So it took a really very long time to get the second update on the level up. So yeah. So guys, what do you fancy flying next on stream here? Would you guys like the Fearless, or maybe the MD-11, the Challenger 650, the Dash 8 Q400? What other plane are you have in mind? And by the way, guys, I have now learned the lesson. If I do any poll on the channel to ask you if you want to fly X-Plane or MSFS, I know that MSFS is never going to win on a poll on the Q8 Pilot channel. That's just not going to work. So, and I do want to showcase MSFS to you guys as well. I want to try to remain balanced in what I provide in terms of content. So, so I've decided now that if I want to do a pull for an aircraft, it will always be a pull for X-Plane or either MSFS. So I'll ask you which plane to fly for X-Plane and which airplane to fly for MSFS. Because if I make you guys choose between the two, you're always going to pick X-Plane. So the TOD will be exactly the same if you do a direct. Yes, it should be. It should be. It will recalculate everything. The FMC will calculate everything. MD-11 told us A319, freeware 747. Why is your time wrong? That's because I'm not flying in real time. On the real Steam Gear Day, I love that little plane. Yes, it's very, very good. It's very good. Zebo is always ahead of the LU in that department, for sure. Hey Q8, should I get the Hot Start CL650? I want some NetJets ops in real life. I'll be Challenger 650 pilot. Well, the Challenger 650 by Hot Start is by far the single most advanced study level simulation of an aircraft ever built for flight sim. And if you are serious about the Challenger, you want to become a pilot, I am very happy to tell you that the Challenger 650 is used by real-world Challenger 650 pilots for training purposes. As a matter of fact, one of the pilots, real-world Challenger 650 pilot, said that he did not know, after trying the Challenger 650 by Hot Start, he came to understand that there are things in the aircraft that he did not know about. And when he went back to the real airplane, he found out that yes, indeed, the simulation provides things that he didn't know about that existed in the real aircraft. So the Challenger 650 is really as good as it gets. There is nothing that, until this day, that is more advanced than the Challenger 650. And by the way, I'm also happy to report that the second most advanced today in the flight sim world, in my opinion, is the Flight Factor 777 version 2. That is just an amazing, amazing aircraft. That is also very, very, very in-depth and provides a very authentic experience of the 777 for flight sim. In my opinion, if you ask me which one's better, is this one better or PMDG? I prefer the 777 by Flight Factor, although there are some things that are not implemented which kind of bug me, like alternate airports and things like that, which kind of limits the ability to to properly set up the 777 by Flight Factor for ETOPS operations. But other than that, the way the aircraft's built, the simulation of the radios, the interaction with the ground crew, with cabin crew, the flight model, everything about the 777 by Flight Factor is just top-notch. But yeah, if you've, you know, if you really are going to study the 650 and you're really going to fly it, I highly recommend it. And I'll tell you that it's worth its money, for sure. All right, so here's stop and descent. We are about 23 nautical miles. We're going to reset the MCP altitude here to 3,800 feet, as indicated on our approach plate. So 380 is now set. And here's the top of descent. And we'll begin the descent shortly. Right, perfect. Well, I tell you, you will not regret it, my friend. You will definitely not regret getting the Challenger 650. Absolutely worth it, regardless. Yes, I agree. The only thing is, don't expect to get in the Challenger 650 and, you know, just get it flying. There is a huge learning curve that you need to go through in order to properly operate the aircraft. And there is just gazillion things that can go wrong with that aircraft. And I mean can go wrong not because the aircraft has bugs, but because the aircraft simulates real-world operations. So if you are looking to become a corporate jet pilot, the Challenger 650 provides you with that experience from A to Z, which is pretty cool. You're most welcome, my friend. Yeah, definitely, Benny, the Skycores are looking really good. As is the real 777. Okay, now I have to be quiet. The walking 737 mile just joined the chat. Oh. Random Flight Database. Welcome, my friend. How are you doing? I hope you are well. Well, thank you very much for being here, Random Flight Database. Of course, guys, you know who Random Flight Database is. He's the developer of the Random Flight Database software, which I've showcased on the channel several times. It is a brilliant little tool that you can use for real-world routes. If you don't know where to fly, and then it's something that you can download, and it can really enhance your experience in flight simming. Thank you very much for making stop, my friend. I appreciate it. Don't forget to announce the descent to the passengers. All right, let's do that, guys.
Again from the flight deck, we are just commencing our descent. Looks like we'll be landing ahead of schedule and the weather conditions are looking good at our destination. We'll be touching down in less than 30 minutes, so do make your way back to your seats. Thanks for choosing to fly with us today, and it's been a pleasure having you on board.
All right, here is the descent, and we will begin the descent shortly here. We are at the top of descent mark, and let's see, what else we need to do? Everything else here is good. Okay, so we can come here to fly with Lua, and we're going to come to the macros, show window.
Descent checklist. Okay. Pressurization.
Set.
Anti-ice.
Off.
Approach briefing and fuel.
Discussed.
IAS and alt bugs.
Checked and set.
Descent checklist complete.
All right, we're all done here. And you can see now the throttles are retarded, and we have now begun the automatic descent. Look at those clouds, guys. And look at the light scattering. Looks really good, I have to say. Much, much better than what we used to get. Okay, 1016 is the altimeter. Transition altitude is 6,000. And we are good. I want to learn how to fly the Q400, specifically the landings. I always smash to the ground. Yeah, it can be tricky. If you watch my, I think not last, but the one before last stream on the Q400, you can just skip through to the landing part and take a look at the configuration, the speed, and what I've done to land it. It was one of the most perfect landings I've done on the Q400. And you probably can learn a lot from just watching, you know, what I've done. There is also a tutorial by A320 Sim Pilot, who has been a Dash 8 pilot in real life, and he has a tutorial on how to land the Q400. So, or maybe we can just go and do it. I'll put a poll out for you guys to select which aircraft we should fly next and explain. This coming Saturday, I might be streaming in MSFS though. So there is a new scenery coming out by one of the, you know, the leading developers of scenery add-ons for MSFS. So I will probably be streaming that airport this coming Saturday, and then next Tuesday we'll go back to X-Plane, and maybe we'll do this 747 or the 748 by SSG and take a look at that. All right, let's go ahead and extend the speed brakes here and bring the speed down. So it looks like drag is required. So let's bring the speed down as we approach our destination. The sky colors are just amazing in this version of X-Plane. Very natural. The lighting has been significantly improved as well. While landing Q4, don't idle the thrust. Hold the best position for making your descent. That is absolutely right, yes. Right, we're approaching 10,000 feet. Landing lights are on. Let's turn on runway turn off lights as well. And fasten seatbelt, non-smoking signs are both on. And now you can see the terrain radar works perfectly here, as you can see. All right, there we go. Speed is good. We'll keep the... All right, there we go. Let's retract the speed brakes, and let's arm the speed brakes, as a matter of fact. And we're going to set the anti-skid to 2, so auto brake 2. Very nice indeed. Again, very, very nice shadows there. Definitely, it's just looking gorgeous. $900,000, looking good. Set the local QNH as standby cab and kindly set the... so it's actually 6,000 as a transition altitude. If I look here, where is it? This one here. I believe it's 6,000. I don't think it's mentioned here. Yeah, it's by ATC. I believe it's 6,000. And yeah, the minimums. So let's go back to 25, and let's see. DH is 450. Oops. Oh, come on. That's too much. It's now starting to piss me off, guys. All right. There we go. Finally. Okay. It's now set. It is in Barrow, no? It is in Barrow, yeah. Barrow 450. It is Barrow. Barrow 450. Yep. We got it right. And standard, so it's 6,000. That's okay. We can just go to 1016. And we'll do that there. 1016. Let's double check. Yep, Barrow 450 altimeter is set and all is good. Perfect. Well, this is a yeah. Right, it showed localizer, but it's an ILS, so I really am not sure which one to pick here. So yeah, we'll just use the ILS numbers here. We do have an ILS frequency set, so it does say ILS. So it's got full capability for we could literally auto land with this approach, but I'm not sure why in the aircraft's FMC we only got the localizer. In the iPad, you can set the QNH and Barrow to copy from the captain's side to the side, so we do need to do it twice. We do, yeah. So let's check here. Alright, that is set. And that's not what I wanted to do. There. Airport elevation is 6.5. Well, 50 is fine. Okay. So we're all good here. What is our current altitude? We are at 8,000 and we are approximately 18 nautical miles from the runway. Check out the beautiful sky colors there, guys. It is full. I'm going to copy from Cap. Yeah, I understand what you said. Yeah. It's all right. Well, it's always good to have the same information on the first officer's side. So, right, 8,000. We're going to set the engine mode selectors to continuous. Nice, that was one of my concerns. I'll give it a try. Perfect. You only have localizer because you still missed VREF for landing. Ah! You are right. Let's see here. We have 30, and thank you very much, V-Sky Check. 30 and 154. There we go, and that is now set. Perfect. Drag is required. Okay, let's do that. And let's clear the message here. Alright, so we're almost there now, guys. And this is the 10 nautical mile ring, so we can start configuring the aircraft there. And this sky color is looking fantastic. Wow, look at that. Very nice indeed. Alright, let's bring the background lights here. Alright, and we'll do the same thing here. So it's starting to get a little dark, so we'll bring the lights. Panel lights and floodlights. Perfect. The lighting is definitely looking much better in this version of X-Plane. Right, let's just do 10 nautical miles. Here's the 10 nautical mile ring. We are at 5,000. Hello, Antonio. Hi, QA. Do you use a dual GPU for lossless scaling? It hurts my frame rates a lot when I use it, so I just have it off at 25 frames.
1,000 to go.
I am not using it in this flight, but I never really had any issues with it. I don't use dual to GPU, no. Alright, here's 10 nautical miles. Approach is selected. And we have captured the localizer. So we are going to select the speed. We're going to go to... Actually, we'll leave it for now. Right. So speed is now going down, and speed check, let's go to flaps 1. Okay, that's our runway ahead. Flaps 1, and let's go to flaps 5. Right, we're looking good, folks. I think we're a bit too high, aren't we? That's the runway right there, and we're definitely too high. So what I'm going to do is... yeah, we're not going to be able to make it. So let's go back to our legs page. I'm going to make a turn. So I'm going to go to heading select. Let's go ahead and go to heading select. And we're going to set the altitude to 2,000 feet. I'm going to go to vertical speed. And we are going to descend here at 1,000 feet per minute. We'll make the turn and intercept the localizer again. This is a beautiful view here as we make the turn. We were definitely too high. I told you to delete the... Alright, let's... That's all right. Not an issue there. We'll just go back and wow, look at that, guys. Ooh, beautiful. All right, let's retract the speed brakes and arm them.
1,000 to go.
All right, and we are going to move away from those mountains.
2,500.
1,000.
All right.
Up, pull 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 up.
All right. So, yeah, we were very close to the mountains there. So we're going to go ahead and reduce our speed to 160 knots. And we're going to go for flaps 15. All right, and landing gear coming down. And now we can go to approach. All right, let's see what happens now. That's 154. Flaps 30. All right, there we go. We have the runway in sight. We made a very dangerous turn there by the mountains. Right. Very nice cockpit lights. And here we are lining up with the runway. We can see the glide slope needle now. And we'll disconnect at 1,000 feet, hand fly the aircraft. I'm not using any light mods here. This is X-Plane 12.2.0 Beta 3. And this is the new lighting engine in X-Plane. So I'm not really using anything at all. Nothing for light mods or sky colors or anything like that. I'm not using really any light mods, guys. All right. Looking good. We have the runway in sight, 1520. Look at that, guys. Look at this beautiful sight of the Boeing 737 here as we come into land. Wow. Love that. Wing condensation. We've definitely done a lot of mistakes during this flight. I've been really rusty flying the 737. It's been a while. Right. 80, 60...
1,000.
All right, and my aircraft. right, auto throttle off.
300. 200. 100. 50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
And reverse. Knots, manual braking. All right.
Thank you for flying Ryanair. Last year, over 90% of our flights arrived on time. We hope you enjoyed yours, and we look forward to welcoming you on board again soon. Ryanair. Low fares, made simple.
So what do you guys think? Did you guys enjoy that? A little bit. I think we passed the touchdown zone, though. All right, let's take a quick look here at our landing. Please don't crash, explain. Thank you. Zebo does sound very, very real. Yes, I agree. All right, let's take a look here. Come on. Yeah, we were at the far end of the touchdown zone. So let's bring it here just to enjoy a little bit of scenery here as we come into land. There we go. Right, and let's remove this here, and let's take a look. Wow, look at this, guys. X-Plane 12 at its best. Oh, yes. And here is one of my favorite replay scenes here as we come into land. A bit of a float there, but then we've made it. Yeah. All right, let's do it one more time here. Or maybe a few more times. Look at the wing condensation, guys. Yeah, a bit of a float there, but not too serious. How about one more time with a wing view? That was a really nice approach, though. I really like these airports where there's, you know, water around the airport. I think they look really good. So let's do. There we go. Very nice wing flex. Gotta love it. All right. We'll just go to the far end there for, I believe the terminal is on the other side. And let's start the APU. Yeah, the physics definitely of the wings are incredible, and this is freeware, guys. I mean, there isn't anything to criticize about the Zebo, or for that matter, by the way, like the A380 by fly-by-wire or the A320 by fly-by-wire. I mean, those aircrafts can only be commended, and the developers can only be praised for their hard work that they've done for the community to enjoy. All right, runway turn-off lights are off, landing lights are off, taxi lights on, strobes off. Actually, I'll put this on steady. That was, I tell you, I really enjoyed that. It was a lot of fun. I haven't flown the 737 in a very, very long time, so I am definitely a little bit rusty. I think I lost my iPad there. Yeah, definitely I need to practice a little more. The thing about Zebo is that most of the aircraft is real calculated physics. No tablet. Yep, that's very true. Doing flare 20 feet, even 10 feet is better. You land so much better in most cases, but in some time it's very risky because you're very close to the ground. Yeah. Again, you'll notice here that this is a default airport, but you'll see that the land markings are all in high res. You'll see all the structures are in high res, and this is because I'm using Airport Enhancement Pack, folks, and that explains why you see everything in high res here at the airport. It is definitely something I highly recommend for X-Plane. It does not change anything with your default airports except that it replaces the buildings with high-res textures, but it keeps everything else intact, so you'll get more accurate taxi lines. Everything will be in high-res, all the buildings will be in high-res, and so it will create for a much more immersive experience when you are at a default airport in X-Plane. All right, so here everything is looking good, and we can now we're just going to make a turn here into the main terminal area. I think we can see that we have some gates over there, so we can go there. All right, perfect. What is this guy doing? How is he able to push back like that without a pushback truck? Beats me. Well, sorry about that, but we're going to have to go through you. Immersion breaker. Yeah. Well, it looks like this is a position here. We can park the aircraft, so let's just do that. All right, position stand 110. All right, there we go. Parking brake is set, and we're going to put the electrical power now on the APU. We'll turn on the APU bleed, and now we can turn off the engines. Engine number 1 shut down, engine number 2 shut down. All right, let's take a look here, and to 9. Right, I think we can now turn off the beacon light. Anti-collision lights off. Taxi lights are off. Okay. And now we can turn off the fasten seatbelt signs. And we're going to come here to home, fuel and balance, payload. No, that's not what I wanted to do. Airside services. Next. How do you unload the passengers? Do you guys know? Ah, it already did, so it didn't really need me to do anything. It started deboarding automatically after turning off the engines and the beacon lights. But where's the... All right, let's come to ground services. There we go. All right. So, ladies and gents, I hope that you've enjoyed this live stream as much as I enjoyed streaming it for you. It's definitely been a lot of fun flying the Zebo after all this time. It's been ages since I've flown the Zebo, but it was definitely worth it. It was just brilliant flying this best freeware mod for flight sim in my view, the Zebo 737, considering you know, its evolution throughout the course of X-Plane 12 development, since X-Plane 10, I believe, the Zibo mod. And so it's been definitely in the making for a very long time, and it continues to update, bringing the latest and greatest features and improvements to this freeware add-on. I want to thank all of you guys for your great interaction here on the channel in chat today. It was definitely brilliant looking at getting all the help from you guys and just getting your perspectives on things. I want to thank the moderators for the great help and support. Thank you very much, guys, for everything. And I will see you guys pretty soon. But until next time, please take care of yourselves and each other. And I will see you all very soon. Thanks for tuning in. And have a great one. Bye-bye for now.